Good afternoon and welcome to Haughton, Louisiana. As the Saints in the third game of the tournament will take on the Haughton Buccaneers. Saints coming off a big win last night, Mitch, 7-5. Comeback win at the seventh inning, scored 4 runs.
Great to be back, Ken. Really appreciate you having me again. Looks like the field conditions aren't much better than they were in that first game we had yesterday.
Actually, I think they're probably a little worse, Mitch. It looks pretty wet out in left field and all behind third base. Infield and pitcher's mound look pretty good.
Yeah, we were watching them warm up a little while ago and had a couple of players slipping and sliding out there. They already got them pretty white pinstripe pants all dirty.
Yeah, and they have another game. As soon as we're done here, we're going to have to pack up and hit the road. We got to be back over at Airline for a 5 o'clock game. So, we're not going to have a lot of time. We're going to grab the boys some snacks and jump on the bus, and it's about a 20-minute ride over to Airline. So Saints ran their record to 7-5 after the win last night over a pretty good Bird team.
Hey, that was a heck of a finish. That's what people go to watch baseball for. Yesterday, the last inning, St. Louis comes back with a win after scoring 5 runs, but we only got credit for 4 with 2 outs and end up walking away with a win.
Most of that was done with 2 outs. Palermo came up with a big hit there. Fontenot had the hit down the line that scored the 2 runs, but then they called Gaskin out for missing the plate. I went back and watched the video of that, and to me it appears that I watched it 3 or 4 times, and Gaskin looked like he touched the plate, clearly touched the plate. So here we go. We're going to get started here, Mitch. Leading off will be Zach Richard. So Richard attempts the bunt on the first pitch, fouls it back, no balls and 1 strike. No balls and a strike to Richard. And like a attempted breaking ball, misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Little treat today, Mitch. We get to broadcast from out in the stands with the fans. It's always fun instead of being in the booth. Get to hear Tommy Fontenot yelling at the.
Yeah, we do have a heck of a fan crowd here. Anything like it was yesterday.
Okay, here's the 1-1 pitch, and that misses high and outside. 2 balls and a strike to Richard. Looked like he was trying to throw that breaking ball again and just not falling in there for him. And Mitch and I are sitting right behind home plate. We're going to see all the movement on the ball and everything. And that pitch misses low. 3-1 to Richard.
I sure like watching Richard. He does have good patience here.
Yeah, Richard's struggling a little bit at the plate, trying to get it back together. Oh, and a strike called in the outside corner.
Oh, it looks like we're going to have another one of these umpires.
Well, we hope not. We hope not.
A little anticipation.
So Ken Ortego and Mitch Charlie with you. All right, this is our 3rd game of the weekend. We got delayed Friday. We were supposed to have 2 games, and all this rain up here. So we went to Saturday, Sunday. Richard fouls it back. Full count.
And by the way, all you folks at home that are watching and listening to us, that we did make it to church today, and we enjoyed ourselves. They had a very nice
went to St. Joseph Catholic Church, a very beautiful church, just remodeled a few years ago. Richard fouls it off. Count will stay full. So full count to Richard. Gonzalez on deck. And Richard strikes out, swinging a miss on the high fastball.
That was a heck of at bat right there. You know, that second strike that umpire called.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Second strike.
So I'll bring up center fielder Julian Gonzalez.
Speedy Gonzalez right here.
Gonzalez hits the first pitch toward third base. Third baseman has to charge it. Comes up throwing, and in time for out number 2. 2 down, and that'll bring up Colin Kramer, third baseman. I'm sorry, second baseman today. He was third yesterday while Ferguson was pitching.
And today we have Cochran at third. Is that correct?
Cochran will play third today, and Kramer will move back to his normal spot at second.
He did a great job on the mound last night.
Breaking ball misses low. One ball, no strikes to Kramer. Swung on and fouled back. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Kramer fouls it out of play down the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, we're just having a whole nother group of fans show up. Looks like they got tied up at the mall, Ken.
One ball and 2 strikes to Kramer, 2 down.
Ooh.
And strike 3 called. So Kramer strikes out to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Saints. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Your score, Saints 0, Buccaneers 0. Welcome back to Haughton. Ken Ortego, Mitch Tolley with you. On the mound for the Saints here in the bottom of the first is Daniel Ortego. 2 wins, no losses, 15 strikeouts, and a 2.1 ERA on the season. Aguilar catching. Palermo at first, Kramer at second, Fontenot at short, and Cochran at third. Richard, Gonzalez, and Goodo in the outfield. Mark Johnson will be the DH today. And the first pitch from Ortego misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Now that was a
And
good
pitch call for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, Ken, that's why I like watching him pitch. He has so much movement on that ball. Just like that.
And foul down the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Over. Breaking ball misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 from Ortego. And fouled back. Throw that slider again, breaking in on the handle. Count will remain 2-2. Here's the 2-2 from Ortego. And it's grounded to Cochran at third. Throw across in time for out number 1. One out here in the bottom of the first.
Ooh,
and that first pitch from Ortego catches the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike.
I sure like watching. I hope he throws a breaking ball right here.
Whoa! Kind of let that one slip out his hand.
I don't know if he was trying to do me a favor or not.
Over his head. It looked like he was trying to throw that slider. Kind of got away from him. The 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Just misses off the corner. Looked like a good pitch from here.
See, I think he fooled the umpire right there because that surely looked like a strike. That's when you know you're a good pitcher. The umpire can't even pick up the strike.
2 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball back up the middle.
There you go. That's all right. It's easy.
Kramer has it. Throw to first.
Got him.
Is in time for out number 2.
And, you know, that's just a reaction from the pitcher to try to go after that ball, but Ortego did the right thing by just letting it go, letting his defense play it.
That was one of those we talked about yesterday, Mitch, especially when the opposing team has a runner on first. It's easier to let that ball go through and set up the double with one of your middle infielders.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. Whoop.
First pitch misses low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. One 1-0 pitch, call for a strike, 1-1.
Again, what kind of speed does Ortego put on that fastball?
He's throwing about 82, 83 on the fastball. He gets a lot of movement. Pitches right back to Ortego. He's going to flip it over to Palermo for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, 3 ground ball outs for the Saints. We'll go to
that's a treat to watch him play because he's got a heck of a lot of movement.
A lot of movement. He really developed a good slider this year. He went away from that 12-6 curveball, throws that slider, keeps a lot of velocity on it, gets it to tail away. And he throws that fastball and it runs in a lot. And of course, I'm the expert on it because he's my son. I've been watching him pitch since he was 5. So
yeah, but he takes after his mom.
Yeah. But the slider was really a good compliment with that hard fastball. He'll get it to tail 6, 8, 10 inches sometime, and then to come back and throw that slider and just have it slide the opposite direction away from that batter.
Yeah,
it induces a lot of.
That last ball that umpire called, that was a strike. It just had a lot of movement on it.
He gets a lot of movement and he'll run that in on a right-handed batter and hit a lot of ground balls off the handle. And then now with the slider, they've got to reach a lot and they'll ground it to the right side. So. So Ryan Palermo to lead it off here in the top of the second inning for the Saints.
Yeah, Ryan had a heck of a game yesterday in that second game.
Yep. Always does a good job at first. Got a great glove, and then he came through that big hit in the 7th. First pitch, curveball, misses high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Palermo. And low on the outside corner is called a strike. I see that a lot with Palermo. Of course, he stands about 6'4".
Yeah.
And his knees are about 2 feet off the ground.
He has a 4x4 strike zone.
2 balls and a strike. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Get a lot of looks from the fans. They can hear what we're saying now. They usually don't hear that till they watch the replay.
Yeah, better not say anything bad about their kids out there. They can hear us.
Palermo slices the 2-2 pitch down the left side, foul. Count remains 2-2.
Of course, this group of kids, there's nothing you can possibly say bad about them. They got the best spirit, best team efforts, everything.
Boy, nothing helps that like a big comeback win over a 5A school. Palermo reaches out, grounds it toward the pitcher. Pitcher's got it. Throw to first. Oh, a little high, but comes up with it for out number 1. So that'll bring up catcher Jack Aguilar here with 1 out. First pitch misses low. 1 ball, no strikes to Aguilar. One-0 pitch, called a strike. Looked a bit high.
Jack is a very experienced batter. He knows what to hit, what not to hit. That was a bit high.
Yeah, that high pitch, you're gonna pop that up most of the time. And 1-1's in the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike.
A lot of folks at home, they don't realize, but Coach Collins allows Jack to call the games himself.
Yeah, Coach Fontenot is our pitching coach, and he got a job working offshore 7-7, so he's not here a lot of times, and Jack does a great job calling the pitches. He really does. Aguilar fouls it off, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And for a catcher, that's you really one step above where you really have to know the game. You got to study the hitters. They go back to the dugout, look at the charts. As those kids come back up to bat, they know.
Oh,
Aguilar drives one. Oh, the second baseman catches it in the hole and throws Aguilar out for out number 2. Nice shot right back up the middle. It looked like the the second baseman cheating a little bit. He was able to come up with that. So
he hadn't got that. It's in the name of their school. He hadn't be here.
So Cameron Fontenot to bat with 2 outs. And the first pitch to Fontenot is called a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Pitch misses low, 1-1. One to Fontenot, misses high and outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Ken, I've been watching Cameron Fontenot play travel ball since he was about 4 years old, and he's always played shortstop and pitcher. That kid has always been a phenomenal athlete.
Took over at quarterback for the team when Greenman went down with the knee injury. Breaking ball misses high. 3 balls and 1 strike to Fontenot.
He did a great job.
As a sophomore, the thing about Fontenot, he's such a level-headed kid. Don't let his emotions get in the way.
Never shows any pressure.
Those guys come up and have a great ending to the season. Fontenot with a hard ground ball to first base. First baseman has it. Steps on the bag for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors in the top of the second. We go to the bottom. Your score, Haughton 0, St. Louis 0. Bottom of the second, no score here from Haughton. And Ortego on the mound for the Saints. First pitch grounded right back to Ortego. Bounces off his glove. Fontenot's going to have to charge it and can't come up with it. I think Ortego thought it was coming a little faster than it was.
Yeah, you're right.
Catcher number 18, Seth Ryan.
Again, you know, that's just an athlete being a playmaker. They can't help but to go after it.
So runner at first. Ortego works from the stretch for the first time this game. Pitch is high and inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
See, to me, that was a perfect pitch. I mean, why not? Release a little anger, scare the guy a little bit, back him up. Don't hurt anybody.
Pitch misses just inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Still got the runner at first. He's definitely wanting to go. Good job. That was a great job by Daniel.
That ground ball was ruled an error, so. Pitch misses just high. 3 balls and no strikes. And strike call, 3-1.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. That batter, he was going to take a. That was going to be a take no matter what.
3-0. They're typically going to take. You need to throw a strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and misses high for ball 4.
I sure hope the viewers can see that movement on that ball like we can right here. You know, you're sitting right behind the home plate. You're watching that ball move. It's amazing.
So runners on first and second, nobody out. Ortego pitch to the left-hander. And the batter shows bunt. Ortego misses high. Nearly perfect for the first inning now. He's having a little trouble missing high, Mitch. Batter shows bunt. Misses high and outside again. Throw down to second.
You know, Daniel just has such a wide range of pitches. I mean, he can pitch anything. Pitch them all.
Two balls and no strikes. Runners at first and second, nobody out for Haughton.
That's a strike.
Inside corner for a strike, 2-1.
That ball, you can see it. It breaks about 8 inches right there from the outside coming in, at least.
Yeah, it's really effective when he starts working the corners. Throw it just a little off the plate and have it run back to the plate. If you got an umpire that picks that up, you'll get a lot of strike calls. Batter shows bunt and misses outside, 3-1.
Well, John Cheshire, he did a great job of hitting those corners yesterday.
Yeah, that was muddy conditions, and John slipped a couple times there fielding the ball, kind of tweaked that hip. So 3 balls and 1 strike, runners at first and second, nobody out. There's the pitch, and it's bunted, fouled back, and the count will be full.
We still have 0 outs right now.
Nobody out, runners at first and second. Here's the 3-2 pitch. High and outside, ball 4, and that's going to load the bases with nobody out. Artigo needs to settle down. He had a pretty good first inning. This inning, he seems to be missing high and outside. Let's see with the bases loaded if he goes back to the windup.
Yeah, Daniel's dad looks a little nervous up there.
It gets tough sometimes, Mitch.
Wonderful game of baseball. Welcome to real life.
First pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike.
Take that call.
Comes the 0-1 pitch. Just up at the chest, called for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, hit right back to Artigo. And he throws it to home for the force. He dropped the ball coming off of his glove.
First baseman number 27, Colton, must play.
Okay, they're going to rule the batter is out on the fly ball, and Artigo dropped the ball, getting it out of his glove.
Which was a very smart thing what he just did. That's an experienced player. Whenever he dropped it, he wanted to make sure that there was no comfort.
He threw it to home for the force.
That's right. So
even though he looked to second, he had the pick off at second, but wasn't sure if they were going to call it as him catching the ball.
That's experience right there.
So no balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Bases are still loaded for the Haughton Buccaneers. Pitch just misses off the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes. Corners are in. Middle infielders at double play depth for St. Louis. And misses on the outside corner again, 3-0.
Again, there's only 1 out. Bases are loaded. And they're not bunting.
Gonna need a strike here. There's no place to put him. And there it is, right down the middle.
I still can't believe that coach isn't calling a bunt. Must have a lot of confidence in this hitter. I'll just call him a batter instead of a hitter.
Batter, that's right.
Yeah, maybe I can call him a misser.
Swing and a miss. And the count will go full.
Hey, Ken, you see a big boy like that, bases loaded. Mom and Daddy sitting in the stands.
Yeah,
he's looking at that fence right now.
You know what he's thinking here.
Adrenaline. You can't help it.
Full count, 1 out, bases loaded.
I'd be doing the same thing at my age.
Ground ball, right back up the middle. Fontenot has it, touches the base with his glove, over to first, double play. Bases loaded, no outs, and the Saints battle their way out of it. Great job for the Saints. Boy, you like to see that. I mean, it was hit right up the middle. Fontenot dove for it, touched the base with his glove. He was getting up.
Yeah, all in the same movement. Dove for the ball, caught it, and hit the plate, and throws it to first.
So Artigo struggles with a little control, but comes through when it counts.
He did great.
We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score. right, we're back to Haughton, top of the third inning, no score, and Mark Johnston to lead it off for the Saints.
Well, Mark had a couple great hits yesterday. Ooh, good eye. I mean,
Pitch misses outside.
Mark looked like he got off of trying to hit it up and high to hitting it right through the gaps. And
just drive the ball.
Yeah, he drove great.
1 ball, no strikes to Johnson. And a breaking ball catches the plate for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Johnson goes for the breaking ball. Tries to check his swing, couldn't do it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Mark has his own fan club here today. He got several people here supporting him.
1 ball and 2 strikes, nobody out. And swings at the curveball and misses for a strikeout. First out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Ferguson Cochran,
who did a great job yesterday on the mound.
And first pitch misses low and outside.
You know, this
1
kid,
ball, no strikes.
He just got a great pedigree of athletics in his whole family.
Swung on and fouled back. 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, Mitch, this pitcher's not doing anything special.
No, he hasn't impressed me at all.
The Saints just need to
I don't mean
catch up to him.
Any of the Haughton fans that are tuned in with us, but
1 ball, 1 strike. And Cochran rips one down the left side, down the line.
See, I like that pitcher more and more right now.
And Cochran rounds is going to head to second base. Here comes the throw. And Ferguson will slide in safely at second. Hit it to that wet spot out there. Mark's ball checked up like a 9-iron on the green at Gray.
That ball should have rolled to the fence easy.
I think it hit the ground and just kind of backed up on him.
He needs to fix his divot out there.
Yeah. So a 1-out double for Cochran, and that's going to bring up Kyle Goodo.
You know, Cochran, he's another one of those kids I really like to watch play. Great on the mound, great with his bat, heck of a third baseman. Good kid, always smiling, team player.
Goodo calls time. 1 out, runner at second base for the Saints. No score here in the top of the third. And Goodo grounds it towards third baseman. Third baseman checks the runner, throws over to first, and gets away from the first baseman. And Cochran's going to advance to third. So the error on the first baseman. We're going to have runners at first and third. And we're going to go back to the top of the order. And Zach Richard.
Yeah, Ken had first base. They just called time. First baseman. He's holding his nose or something.
Yeah, I don't know what if there was a little collision there when Goodo passed by or what, but I noticed he.
I don't know. Did that have anything with Goodo hitting him in the eye when he ran by?
I'm not sure. Like I said, there was a little bit of a collision when he reached for the ball. Goodo was there, and they kind of all got there at the same time. So 1 out, runners at first and third now for Richard. Infield playing in on the corners. Third baseman way off the line on the left-handed Richard. Now he takes a few steps over. And the first pitch to Richard catches the outside corner.
Okay, you know that third base area, it's still muddy and wet over there, just like it was yesterday. And that third baseman, I think when he went to release that ball,
maybe so,
Mitch. Something on it.
No balls and a strike to Richard. 1 out, runners at the corners. Pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike to Richard. With runners on the corners. Richard shows bunt, tips it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Looked like he started to take off a little bit too soon there.
Well, I think Richard wanted to pull that back. It was a little bit high. Got the bat on it and fouled it off. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Richard, and runners on the corners. And they look to third, turn around and fake to first.
Again, it's 2 strikes.
I
don't see him doing a bunt.
A play that is now illegal in the major leagues. You can't step to third and fake it and turn back to first anymore in the majors. Still legal in college and high school. And pitch misses outside. Goodo takes off for second base. Now runners at second and third for the Saints. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Richard with 1 out.
Yeah, that's just about a written error right there on that catcher. He even claimed it after.
He
got a little confused on that. Of course, Coach Collins over there yelling might have confused him as well.
2 balls and 2 strikes and 1 out. And Richard pulls it down the left side, just foul. Count will stay 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Richard. Second and third for the Saints. No score. Here's the pitch. Richard right back up the middle. And it's going to go through for a base hit.
Oh, yeah.
And the Saints will take a 1-0 lead as Cochran comes home to score.
I am so glad for Richard right now. He's so well deserved that.
Yeah, Richard has been struggling at the plate a little bit. Richard takes off to second base. Nobody covering.
Folks,
the umpire's going to send him back saying he had timeout called. Sorry, I had the picture of Julian up. You didn't see Richard take off for
Richard just stole second base with everybody standing there, and they called it back.
And Richard has done that a few times this year. It's a little sneaky move that you get to a point where the shortstop and second baseman are going back to their position. Pitcher's not really paying attention. So Julian Gonzalez now with 1 out and runners on the corners again. Throw over to first, and Richard gets back. Saints leading 1-0 here in the top of the third over the Haughton Buccaneers. And like I said, we're in Haughton, Louisiana, about 15 miles outside of Shreveport, Bossier. As soon as this game's over, we'll head back to Bossier. Now Richard's in the middle, and Goodo dives back. Richard's going to go ahead and take second. Richard did the get in the middle. Let's see if they throw it at me.
The distraction deal.
Try to get Goodo to come home.
And really, that's really a sacrifice move.
Yeah, it is.
If he gets out, we score the
the idea is you want to throw to Richard and put him out and let the guy from third come in. So now runners at second and third. The pitch was a ball to Gonzalez, so 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out for St. Louis.
On base is what we need. Oh, come on.
And that pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
At least he is consistently at low, calling those low pitches a strike.
Coach Laurent back.
I wish he wouldn't do it to us.
Coach Laurent back with us today on first base. Had a wedding last night. And Gonzalez gets hit by the pitch. What is that? Which is 8th hit by pitch this year.
Which is fine with us because this is the fastest kid in high school.
The kid leads the team. Leads the team in on-base percentage, and he does it any way he can, and even if it cost him a few bruises.
Yeah, it does.
So we're going to have a meeting at the mound by the Haughton coach. Saints lead 1-0, has the bases loaded, 1 out. We'll be right back here in a minute. Oh, go ahead, Mitch.
No, I was just during the timeout. Which wedding did Coach attend to last night? It wasn't his, I hope.
No, he was standing in for one of his friends there.
I was going to say, his probably wouldn't be too happy right now. All right, I guess we'll be back after this timeout.
We talked through the Haughton coach is heading off, and Coach Collins still talking to our boys.
That's usually when we have our best conversations. Well, Colin, he made that excellent play last night on third base.
Yeah, it was a hard-hit ball, made a big difference in the game. So Colin Kramer to bat with the bases loaded and 1 out. And let's see if Colin can come up big for the Saints. First pitch is in the dirt, gets away.
And here it comes.
Here comes Goodo. Goodo's going to slide in safe. So Goodo scores on the pass ball, and the Saints take a 2-0 lead here in the top of the third inning.
You know, the only thing bad about that play was Gonzalez had somebody in front of him. He'd already be at third.
Yeah, I think he's looking for that on a pass ball. You know, they're going to sit here and try to get the ball back to the field here in Haughton. The wall is very close to the plate, so there's not a lot of room. You have to have good speed and get a good jump to be able to beat that out here. A lot of the high school fields we go to is a lot further back.
Yeah, you got a good point there. I mean, this is like Little League as far as the backstop.
Yeah, I mean, what do we have? Maybe 15 feet?
At the most.
Pitch is low to Kramer. 2 balls and no strikes. Reshorted.
He can move, too. I've been watching that catcher. My son plays catcher, so I tend to watch those catcher positions, and he's been moving very well back there.
1 out, reshort at third. Gonzalez at second. And ground ball back towards the shortstop. And he's got to go to first with it. That'll score reshort. Sacrifice ground ball for Kramer. And the Saints will take a 3-0 lead.
And there you go. You know, Kramer gets that dugout welcome just as if he just hit a grand slam. The spirit of our team. Anytime those guys get a sacrifice like that, score or do anything good.
You know,
really
Mitch, we come on these tournaments, and I've been doing it for 4 years with these guys. And they all hang out at the hotel, and, you know, a weekend like this where we had the rain, the parents get to spend a lot of time with the team, too. And you see the unity of the team, and they're hanging out and cutting up. First pitch to Palermo, swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike. We have 2 outs. Saints lead 3-0. Gonzalez at third.
Yeah, you got a good point there, Ken.
Yeah,
it really is enjoyable.
And once again, this morning we all go to church together. The St. Joseph's was a good host. They put the players in front, and we had the parents right behind them. And I had a lot of people ask me as we were walking out, "Where are you from?
Sure.
It's good to see you. Thanks for coming." I talked to the priest and the deacon after. We took a picture together, and I posted it on our Facebook page. A team picture with in front of a beautiful altar.
That was a nice-looking church.
Pitcher steps off and looks back at Gonzalez, and he gets back. So no balls and 1 strike, 2 down. And Gonzalez at second base. Pitch misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You get a big group of kids like this all standing at a hotel. There's usually a little something that, you know, they try to get away with, whatever. That's what we were talking about last night. Every one of those kids, they were in their rooms, you know, at least 30 minutes before curfew.
Yeah, we were on the same hall with them, and, you know,
Fantastic
no noise.
And
Palermo hits one down the left side, and that's going to bring Gonzalez around.
Run, folks. Please watch him run.
He's slowing up.
He's not even full speed. That's that Speedy Gonzalez.
So 2-out RBI base hit for Palermo scores Gonzalez, and the Saints will take a 4-0 lead here in the top of the third.
It is 2 away.
2 down. That'll bring up Aguilar with Palermo at first. Throw over to first quickly, and Palermo dives back. And first pitch catches the high outside corner for a strike. And the fans express their disapproval.
And, you know, Palermo's such a smart baseball player. You know, I always say baseball is 80% mental.
No doubt, Mitch.
It really is. There's so many things you got to know and think about.
Throw down to first. Palermo's going to get back. The pitch was low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Aguilar.
You know, right there, Palermo didn't slide back because he was thinking that ball might be overthrown, and he'd be ready to run the second.
Curveball, and
there it is.
Slow roller to third base, and Jack's hustling down the line, throws off, gets away. Palermo's on his way to third. He's rounding. He's going to head home. First baseman's just getting to the ball. He throws home, but it's not going to be in time. Aguilar's on his way to third. He's going to get tagged out.
But the score does count.
Palermo did score. And Saints score 5 runs in the top of the third inning. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Your score, St. Louis 5, Haughton Buccaneers 0. You're watching St. Louis Catholic High School baseball on the St. Louis Catholic Sports Network.
Ken, I know it's in between innings right here, but for everyone that's still tuned in between innings, this is a real treat for them to get to watch this catcher warming up Ortego. That's our freshman. I forget his first name, but his last name is Charlie. Yeah, but that's my son, so I had to put that plug in right there.
Bottom of the fourth inning. Saints lead 5-0 after scoring 5 in the top of the third. Ortego back out for his third inning of work. And we'll see how he does. He struggled a little bit. Bases loaded jamming. We got out of it. Now he's pitching with a lead, Mitch. We'll see if that settles him down a bit and have him get in that groove that we're used to seeing him get into in those middle innings.
You know, the innings come and go so quick. He hardly has any time to really warm up out there.
Pitch catches that inside corner for a strike. No balls in one strike from Ortego. One breaking ball misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's that outside corner, and that ball breaks over to the middle of the plate. No, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I wish he'd just keep throwing that. There's no way they can pick that up. They'd be better off just closing their eyes and swinging.
And ground ball back to Ortego again. He's got it. Throw to Palermo in time for out number 1. That's at the third ground ball back to him.
It was, but did you see what he did? He grabbed that ball, he held it, and he threw it.
So quickly one out here in the inning.
Another one, Dad. Don't you worry.
So one out in the inning. Fastball on the inside corner.
Doesn't get much.
No balls and 1 strike. That's that pitch. Looks like it's going to be inside, Mitch. It just runs about 8 inches back to the plate.
It does. Ooh,
and there's that breaking there.
Oh.
That was the slider.
Okay.
Tried to fool him on it to get him to swing. It broke inside on him. 1 ball, 1 strike. And
come on out. Come on. You know you want to call it.
I'd like to know where that ball missed, Mitch. I'm not sure what happened there. Even Daniel's going to step off the mound and say, I don't know about that. So 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Coach Collins definitely not happy with that pitch.
Well, you got to call that one though, Mitch.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Take all the doubt out of it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where you're going to think that one was going to miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. And there's that breaking ball gets him. There's that slider.
Man, this is such a treat right here.
It's such a good view from right here.
You know, I was watching
we're right behind home plate and we're down low. Usually we're up a little higher, and we don't get to see the ball movement like we do right here.
I know, because of the view of our camera and where we get positioned, we apologize. It's hard to get outside the third or first baseline, but just now their coach that's on first base, he was even shaking that that call.
Fastball from Martigo missed low. 1 ball, no strikes. Catches the inside corner. 1-1. And that low breaking ball gets him again, Mitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
His confidence really looks good.
And ground ball towards short. Fontenot's got it. Comes up with the throw in time for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Just like we mentioned, Mitch, sure is fun to pitch with a lead. And Daniel looked much more relaxed that time. So we'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score, Saints. I'm sorry, we're going to the top of the 4th. Your score, Saints 5, Buccaneers 0.
And hopefully with more runs right here.
So Fontenot to lead it off.
Yeah, Cameron Fontenot's having a great game.
And the first pitch misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Cameron Fontenot. We're in the top of the 4th. Saints leading 5-0.
You know, with Cameron Speed, I like to see him put that ball out there in left field. Oh,
and that's where he tried to go with it, Mitch. He sliced it down the left side, foul.
It's so soggy. And
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, I mean, we've seen the field conditions come into play. I mean, you know it's wet down there. If you can put it down there, why not?
Oop.
Pitch is low and inside in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Fontenot.
That ball just bounced right away from him. I thought it hit his right foot.
It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Fontenot. Nobody out here in the 4th.
Hopping around and acting like it hit me.
Pitch misses high and outside.
That was a pretty pitch, though. He missed it. But
3 balls and a strike.
Who the pitcher is. I enjoy watching when a kid can throw any kind of pitch like that with a lot of movement. And it's just it's a treat to see that.
Here's the 3-1. And misses high for ball 4.
Yep. He tried to throw the same pitch with a correction, but it didn't work.
Nobody out, runner at first. And the designated hitter, Mark Johnston, to bat. That left fielder's playing pretty deep on Mark. And way off the line. And Johnson hits it down there.
Oh, did you see the ball just stop, though? Did you see that?
Fontenot's on his way to third. Johnson's going to hold up at first. And once again, they hit it to that wet spot, and it just kind of stops.
Ball just stopped.
But just like I said,
maybe we don't want him to hit it over there. Because, again, if he'd have hit that ball on a dry ground, it was going to the fence.
Yeah, no, he hits it to dry ground. That's a stand-up triple, and Fontenot scores easily. So we're going to have a timeout as the coach for Haughton will head out to the mound. And we're going to have a pitching change for Haughton. Top of the 4th inning, 5-0. Saints lead. Runners on the corners. We'll be right back after the warm-ups. All right, we're back. Nobody out. Runners at first and third for the Saints. And Ferguson Cochran at the plate. We got Fontenot at third, Johnston at first. New pitcher for Haughton. And first pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. No balls and one strike.
You know, Ken, I'm still trying to figure out why that left fielder threw the ball into third. Into second, not into third. A while ago.
I don't know if he had a chance to get Fontenot. Here's the 0-1 to Cochran. Johnson takes off. Ground ball. And they throw over to first in time.
All right.
Reached,
you know let me correct that. The reason I say all right because Johnson took off. That could have been a double play had he not.
Yeah, the hit and run takes the double play out. Unfortunately, Fontenot with the hit to third, he's got to hold up there at third base. But what we now we set up. We take the double play out of factor. We got runners at second and third for Kyle Goodo.
Yeah, it could have been anything.
With one out. And the first pitch catches that outside corner low for a strike. No balls and one strike to Goodo. Pitch misses high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners at second and third for St. Louis, leading 5-0.
There it is.
And Goodo hits a fly ball to left field. Fontenot looks like he's going to tag up, and he does. And sacrifice fly for Goodo. Fontenot scores, and that'll give the Saints a 6-0 lead.
And again, the dugout welcomes Goodo in there just like as if he just hit a grand slam.
That's what it's all about, Mitch.
You know, out of all these games we play in all these different teams, I've yet to see someone or another team with that much spirit.
So 2 down, and that'll bring up Zach Richard with Mark Johnson at second base. And Richard shows a bunt and fouls it back. No balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, but just to show you how much confidence Coach Collins has in this young man, we got 2 outs and he's letting him bunt.
Right, I'm sure when he puts the ball down, he's going to put Johnston in motion and see if he can throw him off. No balls and 1 strike to Richard. And pitch misses inside, gets away, and Johnson heads to third.
Yeah, yesterday when Johnson got to third on that toward the end of that game, when he slipped, I tell you, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, this it's kind of wet down there by Coach Collins, but a lot drier up there by the base path where it was.
He's one of those young men. He gives it
over at Bird
10% every time.
So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs to Richard with Johnston at third now. And pitches high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, I really enjoy watching Mark Johnson play linebacker for a football team as well.
Just a sophomore. He'll be a junior next year, so he's got 2 more years of football and a very promising future for that football team. Ooh. Richard swings and misses at the high pitch. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Richard hits it back up the middle, fly ball right to the center fielder. He takes about 3 steps up and grabs it for out number 3.
That was a very 4-hit ball.
Saints pick up a run in the top of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Saints lead 6-0. head to the bottom of the fourth inning. And Saints leading 6-0 here over the Haughton Buccaneers. And first pitch from Artigo is right down the middle for a strike. No
Looks
balls
like
and one
he's picking
strike.
up where he left off.
Ground ball right back up the middle, base hit. That'll be the first hit given up here in the game.
Man, that was nice.
Timeout call is Coach Lorentz going to go out and have a word with Artigo. So here we go, runner at first base, nobody out. And the first pitch hits him. So hit by pitch.
You know, I don't think Coach went out there and asked him just to go ahead and hit that next batter, do you?
No, I doubt that was the plan. So Coach Collins is going to go out. We're going to have a pitching change here with Artigo with a 6-run lead. You know, we got games coming up this week. The only thing I can think, I mean, he's done a good job. I think
they're not going to keep pitching him right now. Not as well as he's doing.
With a 6-run lead, yeah, they're going to
lead.
Looks like it's going to be Charlie Ellers coming in for St. Louis.
All right. Yeah, Daniel knows how to make an exit, don't he? All right, Coach, you want me to leave? At least let me hit one more batter, huh? No.
So Charlie Ellers will warm up here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Saints leading 6-0. We'll be right back in a couple minutes on the St. Louis Catholic Sports Network. Charlie Ellers takes over on the mound for the Saints and a 6-run lead. First pitch from Ellers is hit deep to right field. That's over Goodo's head. One run coming around to score. And nobody at pitcher's mound, and 2-run score. And now the runner on his way to third base. So 2-run score off the first pitch from Ellers. And runner at third for Haughton. Well hit ball to right field.
Yeah, that was a pretty good hit.
Number 23, designated hitter, Andrew Gould.
So 6-2 now here in the bottom of the fourth. And runner at third for Haughton.
And no outs.
Here we go, Saints. Take it off, Saints. Let's go.
Just show you how much spirit our team has. They like to make it a fun game. You know.
That's not good for the fans. Pitch from Ellers is swung on and fouled down the left side. No balls and 1 strike.
That was a very well hit ball, though.
Pitch gets away from Aguilar, and a run will score, making it a 6-3 game. So 3-run score here quickly in the bottom of the fourth. Saints lead 6-3. Nobody on for Haughton and nobody out. 1 ball, 1 strike to the batter. Inside corner just misses. 2 balls and a strike.
That's why people come to watch baseball, for that kind of thing right there. Just like whenever we watch it, when it's good for us, though.
Here's the 2-1 from Ellers. Line drive back up the middle, and Gonzalez catches it in the air
Ooh.
for the out.
That ball had a lot of tailspin on it.
Yeah, it was tailing off, and Gonzalez had to run up and adjust his path there to go grab that one.
That ball switched directions twice.
First pitch from Ellers misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes. High again, 2 balls and no strikes. Off-speed pitch is fouled back. 2 balls and 1 strike. And high fly ball to right field. Goodo's coming over and makes the grab for out number 2.
You know, I don't know if you can see that from the camera, but that ball has such a tailspin on it whenever it's hit strong to right or strong to left. The further it travels, the more it kicks. I mean, that ball looks like it's coming straight down, but it's actually about 15 feet coming down further than what they think it is.
Swing and a miss. Breaking ball to the outside.
Fella right here. He's wanting to get a hold of one like his buddy did. Oh, he was trying real hard.
He check swings at that one. No balls and 2 strikes. Pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And strikeout call.
Holy cow.
So after giving up the 3 runs, we quickly get out of the inning. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Your score, St. Louis 6, Haughton 3.
St. Louis, number 6, Julian Gonzalez.
So Julian Gonzalez to lead it off here in the top of the fifth.
He's
Saints
one that
leading
made a heck of a
6-3.
catch in center field in that last inning.
One ball and no strikes to Gonzalez.
Ooh.
Curveball falls in there for a strike.
Again, you know, it's just pretty to watch that kind of a pitch. It doesn't matter who's pitching it.
So 1 ball and 1 strike now to Gonzalez. Pitch misses low and in the dirt. 2-1. Here's a 2-1 to Gonzalez. Ground ball towards second base. Second baseman has it. Over to first in time for out number 1. With 1 down, that'll bring up Colin Kramer. Kramer ground ball toward shortstop. Has it. Throw over. In time for out number 2. 2 quick outs for Haughton. That'll bring up Ryan Palermo. And Palermo slices 1 foul down the left side. No balls and 1 strike.
He's fun to watch. He really is a playmaker. That young man, he knows how to play.
No balls and a strike. Swing and a miss on the curveball. No balls and 2 strikes to Palermo. Here comes the 0-2. Grounded towards second base. Second base has it. Throw to first. 3 ground ball outs. 3 up, 3 down. Here in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Saints lead 6-3. Here we go in the bottom of the 5th inning. Saints leading 6-3 over the Haughton Buccaneers. Charlie Eller's back on the mound for St. Louis. And the first pitch misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss. Outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, he sure has that ball breaking way outside.
And popped up and fouled back. No ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's the 1-2 from Ellers. Breaking ball. Swung on. Fontenot charges. And throws to first. Pulled Palermo off. And they're going to say Palermo missed the tag. He's going to be safe. Throw was a little high from Fontenot.
Yeah, that's not something you see very often coming from Fontenot.
So throwing error on St. Louis. And with nobody out, Buccaneers will have a runner at first base. Ellers throws, and it gets by Palermo down the wall. The runner's going to round second, head to third. Palermo slips trying to get to the ball. So now a throwing error on our pitcher, and that runner goes from first to third, Mitch.
Yeah, I don't think they were able to see it, but Palermo slipped way back there whenever he went to go get the ball. And that's another one of those deals with Mother Nature working against you.
So nobody out, a runner at third now for Haughton. Pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. No balls in one strike. Here's the 0-1. Pitch misses just high, 1-1.
That looked like a pretty good pitch to me.
High and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Again, like you pointed out earlier, that's backstop is only maybe just over 15 feet from the home plate. If that ball gets past him, it's going right there.
Hard hit ball to right field, and it's a home run. 2-run home run. That'll make the score 6-5 now. That was a well hit ball, Mitch.
Sure was. That's a 300-foot marker right there. That right field is not very deep, but that's a left-hander's dream come true.
And Coach Collins is going to head to the mound, and I think we're going to have a pitching change here.
And the score is now 6-5. Saints are still winning.
Looks like we're going to have freshman Cameron Kingery come in here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Saints with 6-run lead. All but gone now, 6-5. We'll be right back.
Pitching number 7, Cameron Kingery. Left fielder number 14, Kirkland Seal.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Saints holding on to a 1-run lead. Cameron Kingery on the mound for St. Louis now. And the first pitch from Kingery's a strike, no balls.
That's one of our 2 freshmen pitchers.
They got 2-2 up on the board, but it's no balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball breaks outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, I think that home run got our Haughton team over there a little fired up.
Well, what we didn't want to do is get the Buccaneers dugout fired up. Ground ball to third, and it's off Cochran's glove and into left field in that muddy area. Fontenot's going to pick it up. Runner's on his way to second. There's the throw, and it bounces off of Kramer's glove and it's safe. I think the throw would have been in time. I'm sure that'll be ruled a hit. Nobody out and a runner at second for Haughton. Tying run at second base. Nobody out, runner at second for Haughton. And line drive to left field. Richard has it. Runner has to go back. Another well hit ball just right at him.
Sure was.
Saints got a little lucky on that one. So 1 out now.
Good play by Richard though.
One out, runner at second. High fly ball.
That is a very high.
Looks like it may stay in the field of play. Palermo calls it, makes the grab for out number 2.
That's my man.
Looked like it was going to go out of play, and it just kind of started curving back towards the field of play, and Palermo calls off Aguilar and makes the grab for out number 2.
That's right. You got to remember, they hit it in the area where the playmaker's at, brother. You know, that was up against the fence right there, too. That's a hard foul ball to catch.
Like I said, it looked like it was out of play, and it was coming back toward the field of play.
And there's no warning track on this field either.
2 down, and a runner at second for Haughton.
I think that's that big boy that hit a shot to center field.
And pitch misses high, 1 ball, no strikes.
Isn't he the one that hit it out there a while ago out there to center field? Last at bat.
One ball, no strikes, 2 outs.
Now keep in mind, Cameron's a freshman.
And curveball misses high. 2 balls and no strikes.
Come on, Cam, you got this. Keep working, babe.
Oh, that was a good pitch.
Just misses high, 3-0 from Kingery. 2 down, runner at second.
You know, it really wouldn't bother me too much if he walked this guy.
And ball 4.
Well, coach made it clear to Cameron not to give him anything to hit.
Go, boys. Just need one. One more, keeper.
Designated hitter number 23, Andrew Soule.
I know you can't meditate. If you're afraid, then you come on with me. And I know what you came here to do. Now bust it open and see you get it. It's going down for real.
Two down in the inning, runners at first and second for Haughton. Saints holding on to a 6-5 lead here in the bottom of the 5th.
2 outs.
And line drive. Base hit right past Kramer's glove. Fontenot cuts it off, throws it past Cochran. And that'll tie the score at 6.
Boy, that was just outside of his glove. I mean, he made a leap and dive for it.
Great effort by Kramer.
Great effort.
Almost came up with that. Instead, it's a base hit. And Haughton ties the score at 6. And with 2 outs, now has runners at second and third. First pitch is high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, Ken, that's a lot of pressure on a freshman coming out here.
Pitches inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of pressure. Comes out here. You got Artigo pitching a no-hitter. Comes out of the game, and then it gets tied up, and they bring him in after a relief pitcher. You know, away from home. He's really doing a great job.
And a 1-1 pitch misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Come back right here, 7. Good, Cameron.
2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs. And runners on second and third for the Buccaneers of Haughton.
Great pitch right there.
And pitch misses just high. 3 balls and a strike.
That umpire is not cutting him any slack.
Comes the 3-1 from Kingery. And it's ball 4, and that'll load the bases now for Haughton.
First baseman, number 27, Colton McLean.
That's number 27. He's coming up for revenge. He's the one that went down without swinging on that last bat he had.
First pitch is fouled back. No balls and 1 strike. 2 down and the bases loaded for the Haughton Buccaneers. Score tied at 6. Haughton scored 3 in the bottom of the 4th and now 3 in the bottom of the 5th.
You can see that number 27. He's trying to hit the ball hard. He's dropping his right shoulder. He's getting under it.
Comes the 0-1. Pitch is high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss on that inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I wouldn't be surprised you don't see him come with a curved ball right here, pitching to the outside corner.
Here's the 1-2.
What a pitch.
Curveball just misses off the outside corner.
Pitch. I think he was anticipating that.
2 balls and 2 strikes now, 2 outs, and the bases are still loaded for Haughton. Coach Collins and the rest of the team was coming out of the dugout, thought they had the strikeout on that one. Ground ball towards third. Fontenot has it. It's going to have to go all the way to first with it, and can't come up with it. 2-run score. And Haughton takes an 8-6 lead now after scoring 5 runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Coach Collins will head out to the mound again for the Saints. 2 down, runners at the corners for Haughton. Haughton now leads 8-6. Have scored 5. Runner takes off. Oh, and he holds up. Pitch is called a strike. No balls and 1 strike.
Again, you can't take anything away from Cameron Kingery out there. Really great pitching in that last batter.
Ground ball towards Fontenot. Fontenot has it. Flips it to Kramer for out number 3. Before Haughton picks up 5 runs and takes a 2-run lead, we'll go to the top of the 6th inning. Haughton 8, St. Louis 6.
You know, Kingery hit the corners just like he meant to. That guy just got a good hit right there, and it went right there between 3rd and 2nd, trying to get it over to 1st.
Here we go in the top of the 6th inning. Saints trailing by 2, and Jack Aguilar to lead it off for St. Louis. Aguilar swings at the first pitch and fouls it down the left side. No balls and 1 strike. And ground ball towards third base. Third baseman has it and throws to first in time for out number 1. So 1 down. And that'll bring up Cameron Fontenot.
And we were on top of the 6th. Now we just have 1 out.
And the first pitch to Fontenot misses high. 1 ball, no strikes.
Good eye.
Fontenot hits one hard to first baseman. First baseman flips it over to the pitcher in time for out number 2. Once again, Mitch hitting it right at him.
Yeah, well, we have no problem hitting the ball. It's just where we hit it.
So 2 down. That'll bring up Mark Johnston.
2-out rally right here. Mark sit on this pitch a little bit, swing like he normally does. Shouldn't have a problem.
Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike to Johnston.
See, that's why Mark's such a smart batter. There's nobody on base. There's nobody to move around, so he's taking some swings.
Oh! And a curveball falls in there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
Come on, huh?
No balls and 2 strikes to Johnson. 2 outs. And it's over his head. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, now that sure would be nice if we had about 3 people on base right now.
One ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning, Saints trail by 2, 8-6. Reaches out and flies one towards right field. Right fielder's over and makes the grab for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down in the inning. Here we go to the bottom of the 6th. Saints trail 8-6.
Center fielder number 2, Jonathan Plant.
So here we go in the bottom of the 6th inning. Saints trailing 8-6 after giving up 8 runs in the last 2 innings. First pitch from Kingery misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch misses high. 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch is high again. 3-0.
That's a good move right there by Aguilar to go out there and call time, let him know what he's missing. He's pitching great. He's got a good velocity on the ball. It's just hitting a little bit too high. Good catcher like that goes out there, gets him relaxed, talks to him, gets him ready.
There's a 3-0 pitch.
There you go.
And catches the corner for the strike. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Another good pitch.
Outside corner and full count.
Amazing how quick that changes that pitching count, doesn't it? All of a sudden that batter's up there ready to get himself a walk, and then he's got himself in a pinch.
Oh! Just misses on the inside corner for ball 4. And timeout call as Coach Collins will head to the mound. And we're going to have another pitching change.
Man, he was doing really a great job right there.
As Cameron Fontenot will come to the mound. And Will Aguilar will move over to the infield.
Yeah, Cameron Fontenot, he's our quarterback over at St. Louis now. Came in after starting quarterback, had a little injury, did a great job. And Cameron was just coming in off of an injury. And then led the Saints to, what did we get to? Was that the semifinals that we got to? The quarterfinals when we got to play ULAB over in Baton Rouge and just barely lost that game. That was a good game. And again, the gentleman that just came off the mound, that was Cameron Kingery. He's a freshman. Really has a great fastball. Lots of velocity on that ball, lots of movement. Coach likes to get them out there, get them some experience. Let them get their teeth kicked in a little bit, see what it feels like. It just makes them a better ball player. He was doing an excellent job right there. So now we're going to have Will Aguilar come in at second base. We're going to move Colin Kramer over to third base, and then Cochran will move over to to the shortstop position where Cameron Fontenot's coming from.
Now batting, number 0.
So Cameron Fontenot will take over on the mound for St. Louis. Will Aguilar will play second base, Kramer to third, and Cochran moves over to shortstop. Runner at first, nobody out. Saints trail by 2.
Whoop.
Batter shows bunt and fouls it back. No balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, I don't think his coach is too pleased with that bunt. Definitely don't want to see a bunt go over the backstop.
Oh, 1. Bunt laid down to third base. Kramer has it. Throw to first. He's in time for the out. Advances the runner to second base. 1 out. Runner at second for Haughton. So 1 out. Runner at second for Haughton. Ground ball. Hot shot to Kramer.
Going to check him.
Checks him. Throws over to first in time for out number 2. Good job by Colin Kramer.
Oh, Kramer, he's just cool. He's smooth.
You know, we got a lot of players on this team that do not get bent out of shape when things are going their way or not going their way. I mean, a lot of level heads, smart baseball player. Of course, they've all been doing it since they were 5.
A lot of leadership.
And the first pitch from Fontenot's in for a strike. You know,
I want to watch the replay of that pitch.
most of these kids played, at a high level of tournament ball in the Bullard organization, and they've seen pressure situations. They've been down. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner at second. And the curveball from Fontenot falls in for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
I tell you, just watching those kind of pitches really makes you feel good.
No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. And a runner at second for Haughton. And a ground ball towards second base. Aguilar has it. Throw to first is in time for out
There
number
it
3.
And that was a very good out right there because we had that catcher coming up that
Haughton,
hit the ball twice already.
Haughton strands a runner. We'll go to the top of the 7th, looking for that 7th inning miracle we had last night. Saints trail 8-6.
After 6 innings, complete of play. Haughton 8, St. Louis 6. Last innings were brought to you by Henry Byrne. Leading off for St. Louis, number 16, Ferguson Cochran.
Saints trail 8-6 here in the top of the 7th. Ferguson Cochran to lead it off. And the first pitch high but called a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Cochran.
Yeah, I think Cochran was a little surprised on that call. He's another one that stands about 7'2" when he's out there.
And that one misses high for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cochran. One to Cochran.
There it is.
And Cochran hits a deep fly ball to left field. And it's up against the wall. Cochran on his way to second base. Lead-off double for Cochran.
And I was just saying, he's another one of those that stands about 7'2" out there.
So Cochran hits it off the left field wall right at the 325 sign.
Great defensive player, great pitcher.
And
boy, he just proved it right there.
looks like we're going to have a pitching change for Haughton.
Oh. They Haughton take him out of there.
All right, we'll be right back after warm-ups. You're watching St. Louis Catholic High School Baseball on the St. Louis Catholic Sports Network.
Coming to you live with Ken and Mitch. We'll be signing autographs later. Don't know when and where, but we'll announce that.
Call Goodo to bat with nobody out and runner at second for St. Louis. Trailing by 2 here in the top of the 7th inning.
All right, Ken, this is what people come to watch right here.
I believe that was the shortstop that moved over. And pitch misses inside, and while nobody's paying attention, Cochran sneaks over to third base.
That was a very good move.
I mean, Cochran took off before he even went to his windup. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and no strikes.
On deck. It was a great bunt. Super speed.
2 balls and no strikes. Nobody out. Runner at third. Saints need 2 runs. Curveball misses outside. 3-0. And that curveball falls in for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike.
That was a good take. What that means, folks, that just means take a strike.
Curveball misses outside. Ball 4. Runners at first and second. With nobody out, and that'll bring up Zach Richard.
All right, folks, now's the time you want to get close to your monitor, your screen, whatever you're watching.
Runners at first and third. Nobody out. Saints trailing by 2 here in the top of the 7th. Richard lays the bunt down, foul. No balls and 1 strike.
Again, we got the tying run over on first right now. With no outs. And then we got Speedy Gonzalez over on the deck.
Richard at the plate, Gonzalez on deck. Runners on the corners for St. Louis. No balls and 1 strike with nobody out. And Goodo takes off for second. They're going to throw.
Ooh, he's
and
safe.
He's safe. So now the tying run standing on second base with nobody out and Richard at the plate. No balls and 1 strike to Richard. Richard shows bunt, pulls back. Ball catches a high outside corner for a strike.
A little high there, Blue. Over the numbers.
No balls and 2 strikes to Richard. Richard swings and misses and strikes out for the first out of the inning. So 1 down. Tying run standing on second base. And that'll bring Julian Gonzalez to the plate.
Now they got the first baseman playing way away from the base.
Curveball in for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Gonzalez. Here's the 0-1. Gonzalez slices it out to left field. Left fielder can't come up with it.
Right there.
Gets away.
And then here comes
2 runs are going to score. We're going to tie it up.
Look at Gonzalez go.
They're going to hold him at second. We're going to play it safe.
Wow.
Base hit by Gonzalez.
Go, Gonzalez.
Scores 2. Ties it up. Great effort by the left fielder. Dove for it. Just couldn't come up with it.
Okay. You know, last night I was talking about that kind of a play. Whenever you're in that kind of a situation, you have to let the ball drop. If that outfielder can't get to it,
if he lets that ball drop, 1 run scores.
1 run, and
they still have the lead.
Right. You've got to let that drop.
Now the game is tied, and a go-ahead run standing on second base.
That's
and our fastest runner, Julian Gonzalez, a base hit, and he will score here.
I hope everybody understands that whenever I'm trying to explain that in a very quick sense.
You probably couldn't see it on the camera. Pitch misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Colin Kramer.
Folks, we do have a tied ball game. Only 1 out.
Top of the 7th, game tied.
Gonzalez on second, about to be on third.
And Kramer swings and fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Again, Kramer, he's another one of those 7'2" guys out there. Man, he plays it all.
I would doubt they'd put Gonzalez in motion here. Gonzalez has the speed to score on a base hit. You don't want to take the chance of having him doubled off on a line drive or something.
Right, I agree.
So he's just going to take a big secondary lead on a base hit. They're going to send him. Right fielder playing deep. Center fielder in a little shallow. And left fielder back a little bit for Kramer. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Score tied at 8. And they turn and look back. Nobody covering. Gonzalez gets back.
That was a little misread by the Buccaneers there. You know, who's actually calling that play is the catcher. It's hard to tell, but he actually has a certain sign that he gives.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And Gonzalez takes off for third.
Safe. He's
and they're going to
safe.
call him out. So 2 down in the inning as Gonzalez gets caught stealing.
But you know,
so 2 down now, nobody
these
on.
are the kids that you can do that with, and I may be biased, but he was definitely looked like he was safe from
And swing and a miss for Kramer. Throw down to first is going to be in time for the strikeout. Not before the Saints tie it up, scoring 2 in the top of the 7th. We'll go to the bottom with the score tied here from Haughton.
Right there.
Here we go, folks, in the bottom of the 7th inning, score tied at 8. And waiting on a batter.
Yeah, here we are. We have a game to play in 1 hour, all the way across the city of Shreveport.
Yeah, we're going to have about a 20-minute drive into Airline High School. It's right there in Bossier, but it's still we're about 15 miles down I-20 here in Haughton.
Number 18, Seth Ryan.
Fontenot on the mound.
That
And
was a good
curveball misses just high. 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball again, it's fouled off. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Score tied at 8. Saints were down in the 7th. Scored 2 to tie it up. Curveball misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
But Aguilar, he knows how this fella wanting to hit the ball.
Pitch is high, 3-1.
Coach Collins has the outfield playing pretty far back. Oh.
And pitch misses just high for ball 4. Leadoff walk for Haughton.
Designated hitter number 23, Andrew Ford.
I know you came here to take. If you're afraid, then you come on with me. And I know what you came here to do. Now bust it open, let me see you get it. It's going down for real.
Batter lays down the bunt. Kramer gets to it quick. Throw to second. And it's in
Got
time.
Good
Good job. We'll get the force out at second base.
And you know, Cameron had a little slip there.
Did he? I didn't see the slip. I saw Kramer charge hard and got to it and got it over to Cochran in time for the out.
Still made a great play.
So 1 down. Runner at first for Haughton.
Well, that was a good bunt by Buccaneers, too. Real good bunt.
And high fly ball into foul territory. Palermo coming back and won't be able to get to it.
Yeah, see, Ken, there's no warning track right there. They don't know how close they are to the fence. They don't want to take their eyes off the ball.
Yeah, it's another place where it's very wet down there.
Yeah.
I could see the water and mud flying as Palermo was trying to run that down.
And then if he slips and don't make the play, he's got to explain to his mom and dad why he got so dirty.
No balls and 1 strike, 1 out, and a runner at first for Haughton. Bottom of the 7th, and the score tied at 8.
All dirty.
Throw over to first, not in time. Curveball falls in there for a strike.
Wow.
No balls and 2 strikes from Fontenot.
My,
That was a pretty pitch.
that's not something you learn overnight.
No balls and 2 strikes and 1 out. Runner at first. And right back to Fontenot. He goes to second. Aguilar misses the tag. Throw was just a bit offline. Aguilar was off the base. Tried to tag him and couldn't come up with it. So now runners at first and second for Haughton, with 1 out. All right, runners at first and second with 1 out. And first pitch misses high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Winning run at second base for Haughton as the score's tied at 8 here in the bottom of the 7th.
1 out.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike from Fontenot.
I think a smart thing for this batter to do is just get the ball out there and advance those runs.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. There's the pitch. Line drive to right field. Goodo makes the grab. Runners don't tag. They have to come back. And 2 outs in the inning.
Oh, that was a good job by Goodo. It is so slippery out there.
Yeah, I mean, you could see him. He only had to take a couple steps, and you could tell his footing wasn't very sure out there.
They can't get any grip.
So 2 down. Runners still at first and second for Haughton. I'm not sure why Haughton's not tagging on that play.
You know, he took such a lead. I can't imagine him thinking it's
2 down in the inning.
that out myself.
There's the pitch. Fly ball to left field. Richard going back. And makes the grab for out number 3.
Wow.
Winning run standing on
Holy
second
cow.
base with 1 out.
I know
You
y'all
get 2
can't see
fly
this
balls.
You know, they can't see this at home, but I mean, the fans are going nuts.
Yeah,
right now.
and
This is fantastic.
And just like we mentioned with Goodo, that's a hard play for Richard. On a dry field, that's a routine fly ball, and you can just see Richard just trotting in that mud out there.
We had Goodo back there in right field trying to get grip, and then the ball gets hit to left field, which is probably 3 times worse.
Well, we're going to go to extra innings here, Mitch. It's 8-8. We're heading to the top of the 8th. We'll be back here in a couple minutes.
All right.
So here we go, folks. Top of the 8th innings. Score tied at 8, and Ryan Palermo to lead it off for St. Louis. And the first pitch fastball catches the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike to Palermo. Pitch misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, this has really turned into a great game.
It shouldn't have been, Mitch. We were on cruise control into the 4th, 6-0 lead.
Whoa,
Palermo hits a deep fly ball to right center field. That ball's deep, and it's in the gap for its double. Palermo on his way, slides in safe at second.
Look at that. Playmaker.
Mitch, he pulls that down the right field line. That ball is deep out of this park. That ball was hit between the 330 and the 385 mark, and was nearly to the wall. So leadoff double for the Saints, and that's going to bring up Jack Aguilard with nobody out. And the go-ahead run standing at second base. And Aguilar lays down a bunt. Great job. And he's going to be out at first, and Palermo is going to go over to third base.
Great bunt. Well, look at that St. Louis team over there. They just giving him the high fives and the.
So now 1 out.
That's huge.
Go ahead run standing on third base, and Cameron Fontenot to the plate. Fontenot just needs to do a job. The infield is way in for the Buccaneers. And the pitcher looks to third.
And then we got Mark Johnson. He's on deck.
Here's the first pitch to Fontenot. He shows bunt, pulls back for a ball. Catcher fakes the throw down to third. And we're going to get a timeout as the Haughton coach will head out and talk to his pitcher now. Sorry about that, folks. I left it on Cameron's picture. We'll be right back in a minute, right after this timeout.
So he couldn't see the field.
So here we go. 1 ball, no strikes to Fontenot. 1 out, and Palermo at third base. The go-ahead run for St. Louis.
I think that coach went out there and told his pitcher if he doesn't do his job, he's going to have to make him cut his hair. So let's see what happens.
Here's the 1-0 pitch.
Ooh.
Misses high and outside.
Yeah.
2 balls and no strikes to Fontenot. They fake the throw down to.
Yeah, that wasn't an accident, him throwing out like that.
They're trying to catch Palermo off the base. 2 balls and no strikes to Fontenot. And that pitch misses outside again. And once again, the catcher comes up like he's going to throw it down. Palermo's back. So 3 balls and no strikes to Fontenot with Johnston on deck.
See, they're trying to making sure that he has nothing to bunt.
Here comes the 3-0. And that curveball's for a strike.
Good take.
He's hit that curveball several times on a 3-0 count. So 3 balls and a strike to Fontenot. Got Palermo standing at third base. The go-ahead run. Here's the pitch, and he lays down the bunt. And they look to 1, and nobody. Oh, and Palermo gets thrown out at third base on the throwback. Fontenot lays down a great bunt. They had no play on him. Palermo gets caught off, and that go-ahead run at third base gets thrown out. And now there's 2 outs in the inning. Mark Johnson up to the plate with 2 down, and Fontenot at first. And Johnson with a line drive out into left field. So now with 2 down.
What a great hit by Mark Johnson.
Yeah, how big is that throw out at third base now? 2 down, runners at first and second, and that'll bring Cochran to the plate with a chance to put the Saints in the lead. Cochran had that double down the left field line last time up, and the left fielder is way off the line.
He is way off. He's dang there in the center field.
Curveball misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Cochran. Saints now with 10 hits in the game. Curveball catches the inside corner to Cochran. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Not much of that inside corner. 2 outs. Still tied up. Mark Johnson's had a great shot to left field.
And throw back to second's not in time as Fontenot slides back in. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 on for St. Louis.
I think that shortstop's hand is hurting from that impact of that ball just now.
Pitch misses low to Cochran. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, Cameron Fontenot, he's on second, waiting to get to third. He's not even checking back half the time. He's wanting to go.
2 balls and a strike to Cochran, 2 down.
But you know, they have a good catcher. I mean, he's been accurate. They consider that.
And
Whoa.
Cochran hits it high in the air. Second baseman back on the grass.
They're scrambling.
He's coming up, and he makes the grab for out number 3. Saints strand a few runners here. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Your score, Haughton 8, St. Louis 8.
Leading off for Haughton, number 2, Jonathan Wayne.
Okay, here we are. Bottom of the 8th, extra innings. That was a good pitch. All right, you can call a strike anytime now. Still have time. Ooh.
Can you call somebody over there and tell them we're in extra innings here in Haughton because we're supposed to play at Airline?
Go, H, you got this. Here we go, Saints.
That's going to be a foul ball. Of course, Zachary, he's all the way. I think Zachary just ran through the fence over there.
I'm sure they're waiting on us. Or they will be waiting on us here in a little bit.
All right, we're at 2 strikes, 2 balls, no outs, bottom of the 8th. Another foul ball. Ooh, great job right there. Good job. Great team play.
What was that, Tommy? Tommy.
Okay, we're one away.
That was Warner. He just called the plate at Airline. He was just leaving. I told him he's going to call the other umpire and let him know.
That was really a good stop right there by Palermo. Flipped it up to Cameron. Cameron gets him out at first.
So one down in the inning. Sorry about that, Mitch. I was on the phone with my friend Doug Warner, our friend Doug Warner, our fraternity brother. He was just leaving the airline. He called a game there as umpire, having him call and tell him we're going to be running a little bit late getting there with this extra inning game. Curveball for a strike from Fontenot. So one out in the inning on the ground ball. No balls and one strike.
Kim, while you're on the phone, Palermo made a great stop at first.
Yeah, I saw the play. Curveball catches the inside corner. No balls and two strikes.
Well, Cameron is really a good pitcher.
Yeah, Cameron's done a good job since coming in. Pitch misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball and 2 strikes. And a curveball grounded towards short. Cochran has it and bobbles it. And the throw won't be in time. Just a little bobble by Cochran. I think he thought the ball was coming a little harder, Mitch. It got in that wet grass, that wet area right in front of shortstop, and seemed to slow the ball up. So 1 out, runner at first for Haughton.
Okay, it's just 1 away.
And first pitch is fouled off. No balls and 1 strike.
I'm going to do a little check right there, but I located away on it. You know, Ken, I think this is the first time we've had just about as many people on our opponent's side as ours in the stands.
No balls and 1 strike. Runner at first for Haughton. Tied at 8 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Ooh.
Curveball just misses. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And 1 away. Do a quick little double play here.
And base hit back up the middle. Gonzalez can't come up with it. Slips in the mud. And runner headed to third base for Haughton. You know, once again, there you see that weather. You saw that ball bounce.
Yep.
And Gonzalez kind of slipped and just got under his glove. He'd have held him at second base. So now runners on the corners for Haughton with 1 out. That's the winning run standing at third base.
Kind of like a little deja vu of what we just had.
So 1 out, runners on the corners for Haughton.
Probably going to be playing a little bunt right here. Good.
First pitch on the outside corner, no balls and 1 strike. No balls and a strike and 1 out. And curveball misses inside from Fontenot, 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, score tied at 8. Haughton with the winning run at third base. And 1 out. Swing and a miss. No ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Cameron has put on a great performance. He's hitting the corners. He's throwing the curveball.
One ball and 2 strikes. There's the pitch. Reached out, base hit out in the right field, and that'll win the game for Haughton. Saints started out with a 6-0 lead and end up losing 9-8 here from Haughton.
That was a very good game. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, we
Always
just come
much
up
more
on the
enjoyable
losing
when
end of it. We're going to hurry up, pack up, and head over to Airline for a game with Airline High School. The final from Haughton in extra innings. Haughton 9, St. Louis 8. We'll see you in about half an hour.